Alrighty, hello everybody. How's it going? I am Squeetee. Hopefully you guys can hear me fine. I'm a little paranoid, so let me just check. Oh, yeah, good enough. So this is January 2022. It's another new month of Ashes of Creations, development, fun stuff. We're gonna go watch their 1 hour. Well, let's see, a little bit over an hour. Um, Development update for January 2022. I saw some previews online showing off some character customizations, visual stuff like that. Some stuff about roads I saw a picture of. So we'll get into it. Hopefully I don't cough too much. I've been like fighting COVID for like 2 weeks, so I'm just getting over that. So I got my tea, my gypsy tea. So hopefully I'm not hacking up. I might just mute myself for a while if it gets bad. Ah, delicious. So hopefully that helps. And before we get too into it, if you're looking for me anywhere, squeetee.com. I'm on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. I stream to all three of my sources, locations, whatever. So if you're looking for me, that's where you're going to find me. I'm trying to organize this here a little. Ooh, that messed up everything. That's better. So yeah, if you're looking for me, the camera's freaking out too. Let's see. And if you're looking for a guild for Ashes of Creation or anything else out there, bmfguild.xyz. Go check us out. We're an old guild from Star Wars Galaxies. We're in SWOTOR right now. We have a decent player base. I know what we're going to be jumping in when SWOTOR has its newest expansion here in about 2 weeks. So if you're interested, come and join us. Have a fun time. And enough of my blabbing. Let's get into it. Turn that off. Turn that on. Hopefully this works fine. So far, so good. Make sure the sound's working. Okay. I'm so paranoid that it's not going to work.
Hello, everyone. How are you doing?
Hello.
Salutations and welcome to our glorious Ashes of Creation January development update. It is already 2022 and it's the end of January. How are you feeling about that, Steve?
How are you feeling
Oh
about that?
man, I can't believe it's 2022 and the end of January. Yeah, that's kind of crazy. It definitely ran by real quick.
I feel like I blinked and the month went by for some reason.
Although to
Has
be
been a
fair,
quick
November and December when we had our live streams, they were like at odd dates, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like earlier in
yeah.
the months. And I kept feeling because I'm used to like our live streams being at the end of the month, and when the
I
live
will
stream
talk
came
and
like
make
middle of the
comments
month,
as
I
we
was like,
go, by
whoa,
the way.
this is kind
So
of weird. So at least now
we'll
we're
let them
back
talk.
to the, at
We'll
the end
get
of the
in
month.
before I start rambling
We're
too much.
creatures of habit. So when stuff changes,
Yes.
we're like, what is happening? But yeah, we should be back to normal. We normally try to go for the last Friday of every month, but things change, especially with holidays and stuff like that. We want to be accommodating for our staff and making sure that we're not keeping people during the holidays. We want them to have a nice time with their families. So we'll get right into it. Today, obviously, don't forget if you are watching us here on Twitch, we also upload these to YouTube. So
I do.
definitely subscribe over there. And if you're watching this on YouTube, I see the analytics. Y'all be watching, but you're not subscribed. Hit that subscribe button. We're going to be having some cool things for our subscribers over there too.
Like what?
So you don't miss out on any other videos that we have go live. Beyond that, we also will be going over our reminders, our studio update, our design update, environment art update, and our character update will be kind of the big focus for today. I know often we do our focus on like design elements, but today will be characters. And if you've been following us on social media or hanging out in our Discord, you might have got a little teaser of what will be coming. But we are going to be showing off not just one new model, but we are going to reveal some stuff for something that you've never seen, for one of the models that you've never seen. And then we're also going to be showing new models for things that you have not seen as well. So it is actually going to be a lot more content than you were probably expecting. Not just one, many.
Not just
Um,
one.
not just
Okay.
one. Got more. I tricked you. Also, our social media manager, Peter, he is so funny. He like used, you know, one of our humans as like the thing. So
I saw that as
people,
the silhouette, and
yes,
so
the
everyone
silhouette.
was basing their guesses off of the silhouette image. Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, and then like I saw some YouTubers that were like, it could be an orc, but it's skinnier. And I was just like laughing so hard. I'm like, look what you did, Peter. Even when he sent me the Jira back, and I was like, aren't people going to get a little confused? They're not going to know what this
Yes,
is. And he was like,
that
that's
was
my
evil.
plan. I was like,
Yeah,
oh, you evil.
that was some big brain evilness, 100%.
But anyways, we'll get right into reminders. We have not so many today, unlike previous
Good.
months.
Let's get
So
through
I
it.
won't talk your ear off too
Let's
much.
go.
But of course, we do have our monthly cosmetics being swapped over. The Through the Lens cosmetics will be swapping over on February 9th, 2022 at 11 a.m. Pacific. You can check that out over on our shop. They're very cool looking. And we also have our dev discussion. Our dev discussion on griefing. So definitely go over there, hop in. We asked you, what do you consider acceptable behavior in an MMO or PvP based situation? And where do you draw the line at griefing? And you guys provided a lot of great feedback. You can still pop in there, toss some more feedback in, but we have kind of consolidated some of that and sent it over to the design team. And we will be doing our next one on RNG. So if
I forgot I
RNG
had
is
SWOTOR open
interesting
this
to
whole
you
time.
and you have thoughts, bring them.
Whoops.
So just to be clear, did I see a um, owl raptor griffin mount
Yeah.
in
Well,
that
not
image?
griffin, but owl raptor, yes.
Looks like a mixture
Wonder why I
between an
was
owl
lagging. I
griffin
had
mount
funny lag.
raptor.
Oh my god.
It is a, it's kind of using our raptor model. So for people who are always asking us, you
Oh,
know, does
yes.
this make us have more time or
I like
anything?
its little feather hands.
Yeah, these actually allow us to design stuff a lot faster and create things a lot faster because we're using base models of things that we've already we
As long as
have
everything
that
That's
built
doesn't look
cool.
too
I
similar,
like its
that's
little
fine.
tiara too. Or
Yeah, it
tiara.
has armor like barding.
Oh yeah, very
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, it is very very different. My favorite is actually the freehold.
The crystal fox thing.
The crystal cat is really cute, but
Aw.
the freehold actually the building is really
Oh
beautiful.
yeah, that's pretty cool too.
Yeah.
Are those floating?
No, they are attached, but I guess
Oh,
they
okay.
are kind of like extended off.
That'd be cool if they were on like little tiny, mage discs that floated around the building.
That would be cool. That's a whole
Ooh.
nother level. Maybe not for a cosmetic item,
Yeah.
but maybe for in-game achievable or
Oh
something.
yeah,
Yeah,
I like
well,
that.
yeah, as long as the rigging is the base model
Last
and
but
it's
not
not
least,
like,
because we're
hey,
gonna get
this base
asked
model
questions about it
always
as
has to
well,
have claws
do
for
have our
hands.
content creator
And
program
that's fine.
available for you to apply. We are not
When are they going to announce who
going through
got
the applications
in
quite
this?
yet, but we still have the applications available. When we close applications, we'll let you guys know, and then we'll start going through those and sending out emails. It's going to be exciting times.
When?
There's a lot of
It's been
you,
like 4
so
months.
we appreciate all of the excitement so much that I'm like, Steven, give me another person who can manage that program.
No, you don't need more people.
It's a lot of people. You guys are really excited, and we're excited. We want to support you and have a program that is unlike any program that you've had at other, companies or studios.
Not done
So
yet.
with that, we always try to give you that AAA experience with our small team. Of course, we're gonna head on over to the studio update.
Good.
And Steven, what do you got for us?
Chugging along.
You're not in the studio today.
No, I mean I will be right after the show,
Yeah,
but
same.
I had some calls this morning and I was kept trying to like get off the calls and then I didn't, and it was like 2 minutes before the show and I jumped onto this. You're like, Steven, where were you? We were
I
about to go
know.
live.
I was like, I'm about to add 5 more minutes onto the clock, and people are gonna get their bingo card.
I
The community
know.
made like a little bingo card of things. It's pretty funny.
I
like
know.
it.
I'm sorry. Studio update's great. Things are going very good in the start of this new year. We did
Are they?
some awesome hiring this month. I think we hired six additional new people in January.
Not bad.
Very excited for those
Not
individuals
bad.
to join the team. They're incredibly talented, a lot of seniors in that group. So that's fun. We're going to be kicking off some more hiring endeavors as we start this new year. We have a lot of aggressive goals from a growth perspective for the company, and pretty excited to see that come over the next few months. Additionally, the teams have been hard at work at the start of this new year with the migration over to UE5. We officially now have the entire studio
Woo!
team moved
As
over
of
to
Monday.
UE5 as of Monday. That's right.
Yeah.
Yes, as of
Okay, that's
Monday.
great.
So that was very excited. Of course, the engineering team led the charge on that over the last few months, getting the code base moved over to UE5 and working out the bugs and kinks as part of that process. So very, very proud of them and their hard work. Additionally, we have
Good.
we've made some adjustments actually to our project management structure with the introduction of some new individuals, particularly Jacob on the production side, transitioning our sprints to a more story point based system, which has been kind of exciting for the teams at the studio to switch over to. I expect good things to come from that.
And
Make
for
sure
people
in
who
Ashley
don't
Discord you
understand
can
what
see
a
alpha.
story-based
Oh, I
assistant
haven't logged
is,
into
it
that
basically
Discord
uses like the
in like
VG
2 months.
sequence and
I'm gonna open it right now.
kind of breaks down tasks instead of them being like specifically
Go
like
away.
I'm going to do this in 1 hour. It's like it gives you
Yeah,
a little bit more leeway.
Sure, it's more indicative of the complexity of a particular task rather than a one-to-one on time. That gives us great tracking, the ability to be more predictive as part of our future-looking roadmaps internally, and we're pretty excited about that process. A little bit more granular in that sense. So things are going pretty
I'm
good
gonna
at the
log in
studio.
here.
Great start to the new year. Pretty excited for what this year has in store for us, and this January was a nice kickoff for that.
Yeah, so we're rock and rolling. For those of you who I know you always ask about a studio tour and things like that, we are still waiting on a few pieces of furniture and also what I like to call the beautification of the office. Basically
Yes.
making
I
it
don't care
not
for
look
a
like an
studio tour. I
office,
don't care.
you know, giving it our own little intrepid flair and adding
Make
some
the
more
game.
art and plants and making it cozy. So
Oh,
we're
well.
going to be making those changes.
I
over the
screwed
next
my
few months,
password
and then
up
when we're
on
ready,
Discord.
we'll start
I was
doing
part of the alpha
Yeah,
channel,
we're
so
pretty close. You guys have
I just gotta log
some
back in.
sneak peeks that Margaret's been giving as part of our as part of the studio. Maybe some insights into the cafeteria area, the lounge area, the foyer with the Christmas
foyer.
trees and the pumpkin patch thing. We've had now what 4 potlucks so far. I think in the studio
Is it
since we've
only
gotten
4?
I think it has only been 4, but it's been fun. I missed those. Over
They
the
need new
last
Yeah.
year
fan
and a
art.
half,
We
but,
just had
I've seen a
one
bunch
this
of these
Wednesday.
for a
We were
while
supposed to have
now.
it last Friday, but
I need to
we had
submit
moved
some
it.
fan art,
But
little sticks.
it was good.
it was
Little
good.
stick
That's
Yeah.
very good.
figures.
I honestly am like, maybe we
Ugh.
just open up a restaurant because
I
everyone's
know,
so
right?
good at cooking.
I know.
This time you don't have to smell because normally it's on live stream day and Steven's like smelling the food and being like, all right, I gotta
I
I want
know.
food.
And we have a lot of talented chefs at Intrepid. They moonlight as chefs outside of their normal development jobs.
I feel like they do. There's some good ones. Or
Right.
baking. But yeah,
Yes.
so we try to make sure that we're doing lots of cool stuff for our studio. And we also have kind of set up these little committees where we're going to be doing game nights and lots of fun stuff as a company as well. So that's going to be exciting too. Especially because a lot of us have kind of moved from all over the place. So
Oh
kind
yeah.
of having, more friendship time is good too. Not
Queen
just all
Blossom
work.
asks. Queen Blossom asks, "What kind
Oh,
of
okay,
foods?"
man.
Well,
Oh
I
gosh.
know
Yeah, I'll
All
have to,
right.
I
right
didn't
after the
have too
stream, I'll have
much
to
of
go
this
update
last
my
live stream, but I
Discord and
know
make sure you
John,
get in
my
there.
Last
husband,
live
made
stream.
It's like the only
last
reason I use
last
Discord now is
last
it's
what is
for
it
this
called?
game, and
Eating
Last
live
we're obviously in
stream.
hiatus. So
last potluck. But John made his banana pudding and his shepherd's pie and his little sausage dip. And I tried my hardest the morning he was taking it in for the potluck to snatch it up and just like put it in the refrigerator, but that didn't work. So.
You're trying to steal it?
Well, it just smelled so good, and I hadn't eaten anything yet that morning, and I was like, "Do we have to take all 3? Maybe we can leave 1 here for us." It's too
Everyone
bad.
really liked it. So, but
Yeah.
yeah, lots of tasty goodness.
potluck,
But the
gotcha.
studio's going well. Like Steven said, we've got a lot of cool stuff happening, and we're excited.
Yeah,
And hiring's continuing. Um,
absolutely.
so So moving on from there, let's talk about design stuff. This is where there's a lot happening. Design and engineering are doing so much.
They could use a third person.
Yeah,
Take
They
it
really
away,
need a
Steven.
third person to come in and break up their banter.
That is too funny. I've got to tell you, actually, it's been, I've spoken about this the last few live streams that a lot of these discussions after we came out of Alpha 1 on reiterating over some of the systems and designs around those systems has been a great time. I mean, we have, of course, our large design discussions that we hold in our conference rooms, and it definitely gets lively, a lot of passionate voices around some of these ideas. Um, but yesterday, just as an example, we were talking a lot about kind of the management of the economic systems within the world and how they relate to nodes participating in those economic systems, whether or not they get
Yeah,
to exert
they need
pressures over certain
someone for
material
guidance.
markets,
But that's
what
Margaret's job.
those material markets look
She's
like from
supposed
a
to be the
mayorship
leader of
perspective.
this,
Do I have to
not
account for
the
a number
half the
of
banter.
resources that I am keeping track of versus
She likes to talk.
those trade relationships with nearby nodes and the types of
I mean,
resources that they might need to begin
people do that
certain
love to
public initiative
talk, but
projects and interfacing with
you
the
gotta
player
move it
population,
on.
talking about spigots and sinks and where we want the predominancy of
Yeah, I
economic
think
volume to occur between player to player transactions and having that kind of closed market system. This was a lot of fun in defining the variables and the specifics around those things, and that's been a lot really of what this process post Alpha 1 has looked like as we've gone through the data, as we've gone through the community feedback, as we've gone through kind of re-architecting the more fleshed out portions of these systems for Alpha 2, and what they look like, and getting to see the designers on our team, which we have incredibly talented designers across, you know, um, Corey and Chris and Trad and Brian and Jason and Jeremy and Bucky and Amy
Bucky.
and Chang, and I mean we just have really an incredible Mike,
You start
incredible.
naming
I
them,
know.
and you gotta
I'm so sorry.
Someone's gonna feel left out, Steven.
I know. But we have an incredibly talented design team, and I've loved really getting to get into the weeds of all this stuff with them. Obviously at the outlook of Ashes of Creation, I have all these kind of grand macro ideas around systems and pulled from inspirations of the games that I played as an MMORPG player and what I thought they did best. But getting really the diversity and thought amongst our design team, being able to contribute to parts of those micro level specifics in each of these systems has been a lot of fun. So design's been hard at work at that. In addition, obviously the prototyping and working towards the changes across combat. Excuse me. Very excited to kind of debut that stuff to the community, get additional feedback, and iterate upon that again. Designs been interfacing with animation, with VFX as part of that process and planning out what these different iterations of combat are going to actually look and feel like, right? So that's been a lot of fun. Additionally, having over the last few weeks, really getting into specifics about how we want to re-architect some of these class structures, where we're placing certain types of abilities, what the bread and butter of each of these archetypes actually looks like, how they're going to fit into the progression of up to level 35 in Alpha 2, what interactions players are going to have in Alpha 2 with the augment system and the ability to redefine a little bit of their role and kind of flirt that holy trinity, so to speak, presenting the opportunities of hybrid classes, have a lot of discussions and planning around that.
A heal tank hybrid.
That's all
I'm all
fun.
for it.
There's just so much that's intended for Alpha 2. Really gives a very big picture of what the game Ashes of Creation is going to look like. So we're making sure that we're getting all of our ducks in order when it comes to planning out how we want players to interface with these systems for Alpha 2, and it's going to be pretty exciting, I think, to see people play it.
Yeah. I know people are going to be super hyped to see some of those prototypes coming in the next few months as you are ready to release them.
Did I accidentally leak 35?
Yeah, you did.
Oh, shoot. Okay, well, just
Gotcha.
want to say that's our target goal. I hope the design team's going to yell at me. We didn't for sure decide on 35 yet, but no. That's our target
That's
goal.
why I was like,
We're going to end up
keep
around
on taking-
35, I think. So it is.
Even
what
if they
it
end
is.
around 30,
It's
I mean,
subject to
that's a good
change,
solid
as with
number.
all
I thought
design
max was
goals.
50.
Yes, there you
So
go.
I'll fix
Subject
that
to
phrase.
change.
There you
Yes,
go.
you don't know exactly it's going to be 35 yet, so just keep that in your back pocket.
keep it in our back pocket.
I was like, oh, they're taking that and going.
Yes, I know.
And I'm like trying to think of if there's anything else.
I lost my mic.
You lost your mic? We can still hear you.
Okay, I'm here. I
Okay.
lost my speakers, I guess, or okay, I'm good.
All
Somebody's cutting me off from the studio. Cut his mic. Cut his mic.
So
And
what do we
I'm
get
just
up to?
kidding.
We got up to
I think
10 in
we're
Alpha
good.
1.
Anything else you want to share
Level
on the
35 for
design
Alpha
front
2.
or
That's a
engineering
solid
side?
jump.
I mean, obviously,
And
I
that
know
should
the
give us a
engineering
great
team's been
basis
hard at
of
work
the
on
classes and
unifying
their
all
abilities.
madness, so.
You know what I will say on the design side, and I
You
just
know,
had a
people are
conversation with this about
we're tweeting out during the
with
stream
Jason Neal a little
35,
while
35.
ago. Was originally we talked about how zerging is always a problem in a lot of these MMORPGs where you really can't control the number of participants in certain open world systems, right? And in that sense, instancing is a great tool that designers can sometimes use to curate a particular number of participants that you want. But the predominant amount of content within Ashes of Creation, over 80% of which is open world content. So instancing is very limited. But what we were talking about was how during like sieges or castle sieges or node sieges, you're going to have certain instance locations where it's only going to be a group that's designated to participate versus another group while the siege is happening. And I know in the past we talked about, well, how do you plan to incorporate these more objective based waypoints as part of these larger events, and say that not only is it going to be a complement of numbers in the overall grand kind of battle perspective,
That's true, man.
but there's
It could
also
feel
going to
bland
be
if you don't have
opportunities
the.
for smaller, more
You
niche
can't do the
groups
archetype
to
mashing.
participate in more focused objective capturing, right? And a part of that is going to be, small, very short, kind of 10-minute long instance battles where groups can go and participate against other groups that are defender versus attacker, and the outcome of which will influence certain aspects of the overall battle while that's still occurring in the background.
This is going to be huge.
Those types of interactions, I think, are going to be a lot of fun. That's a discussion that we had.
It's like mini war zones or battlegrounds.
That's going to get fleshed out a little bit more. Whether or not we see that in Alpha 2,
while the main siege is going on,
but it is part of the design and how to incorporate those.
That sounds like such an extra layer of complication
as they work in concert with the overall larger battle.
Okay. Because I was just understanding it was a big 50 versus 50 siege battle in the open world.
I know people.
But if you're going to pull people to smaller battles while maybe a main battle's going on, that's going to be really interesting. That's going to be real interesting.
We'll be showing off some of the new prototypes for those changes coming soon.
That's good. You're going to have so much leadership. You're going to have an overall leader, like guild leader, commander, whatever.
I don't know if you want to talk a little bit about that.
And then all the sub-objectives are going to have their own groups with leaders.
About this,
and the communication is going to have to be
part
huge.
Of the AI tools that designers get to work with.
Fights are going to be huge.
I was having a discussion with Corey as he was presenting kind of the function of hate and hate tables, how leashing works behind UIs, how different behavior trees are going to be possible at
that's going to be cool. That's sieges. That's going to be cool with sieges.
That will have different types of reactions from a skill perspective on the AI. For example, if you're attempting to train monsters, the ability for there to be a small percentage chance of different types of ability usage by those NPCs that are not exactly predictable, right? Those variables make things a little bit more interesting, a little bit more fluid, more reactive from the player's perspective.
There will not be pugs in sieges, or they're going to get like the trash jobs.
I think that's going to present to players a little bit of a different moment-to-moment kind of combat that they aren't typically used to in MMORPGs, because the activities and behaviors of the AI are a little bit more predictive in the games we've typically played. But I think this is going to be a nice addition to the type of interactions that players can expect to have in
Randomized
Ashes of
abilities
Creation.
is cool.
That's going to be a lot of fun. Not to mention that AIs will exist within certain factions in the game. We're a non-faction based game. However, we present a lot of opportunities for pseudo factions to arise, and that's just not from the player's perspective, but it's also from the NPC perspective as well. So how players interface with those NPCs within the nodes, with those individual factions, whether or not you can even have those factions perhaps vote in certain elections. So there might be some quest-based / reputation-based activities that you can perform with NPC factions within a node to add them to the voting structure of the mayorship.
Okay, go
right,
on.
for scientific nodes. I think that's kind of a cool dynamic that provides an alternative to the just standard
I like it.
voting
I like it.
aspects. That's kind of cool. But yeah, there's a lot of cool AI stuff that we're working on.
Yeah. And when we're ready to share some of those things along our journey, we definitely will. So stay tuned.
I like
It's going to be
Omdat said
exciting.
that's. I like Omdat said Stephen is leaking more than my kitchen sink. You might want to get that. You might want to get that checked out, Omdat.
Oh man.
All right. I think that if you don't have anything else you want to share on the design or engineering front, well, engineers also working on the character creator back end stuff. I don't know
Oh,
if you want to
yeah,
talk
yeah.
a little bit about that. I know
Character creator?
it's
Sure.
character related, but
Yeah, I
the
think
thing that is that like everything kind of touches all the things. So
a lot of things touch a lot of things. That is true.
Yeah.
That's inappropriate,
Yeah,
Steven.
no. Are we on design or we're doing engineering with
we're
design?
design
Okay, sorry
and
about that.
engineering. I kind of group
Got
up
it.
together.
Got
Yeah.
it. Got it.
They often like
engineering's
engineering stuff
Margaret.
can't be shown until design is
sure.
Get out of here.
interacted with it. So I could usually clump those together.
Yeah, engineering's been doing a lot of work. Outside of obviously the UE5 migration, which is obviously a big chunk of work that needs to be done. Clayton's been working on the materials. Zach and Adam have been working on the character customization options, and I just took a look at that actually yesterday. Zach has done an amazing job with different parameters that are adjustable, the deformations that are possible, the customization of the character's face and body. I mean, it's just very in depth. Now, obviously, it needs some UI love, and it needs to be presentable in a visible way. But the parameters, the technical side of what's capable, working with the character team, with Jency, with Chris Atkins, and the animators, adjusting these facial parameters so that they can be super customizable has been really interesting to see. And I'm pretty sure we're going to be able to showcase a little bit of that work in progress next month. But the intent is to have one of the most customizable options from a character creator perspective in an MMORPG.
Okay.
And I think the engineering team is hitting that mark. Zach has been leading the charge on that. It's really exciting.
I do want to preface though that it will be in the early phases for showing it off next month. The UI is definitely not the final UI.
That's fine.
No.
There's still some
I
more
mean,
things
you don't need
No,
much
I
for a
think the cool
character
thing
creator,
about,
just some
I mean,
sliders
you
and
guys,
stuff.
I mean, what we have a little over 3,000 people watching right now. We have developed,
More
I think,
red.
a rapport as part of this
Hey, what's up?
transparent development process where we as developers are comfortable showing you guys work in progress, and you have kind of the context to take a look at something in its early phase and understand what it's going to become in its final product phase. You've seen the progress of Ashes of Creation
I
over the
assumed it
last
was a bot.
4 or 5 years.
I'll take the
you've seen
view
where
though.
we've come from in that time to our Alpha 1 presentation, and you can see how things develop, right? So having built that kind of rapport with the community, I think allows us to show these work in progress things, and it can get you guys a little bit excited because you get to take a look under the hood, and you get to see this process, when it's not pristine and beautiful and polished, but rather
I don't care
along the way. And
if the UI
that's
for
a
a
cool
window that I'm
interaction
going to
have because
see
it lets
for
us, of course, gather
15
feedback
minutes
earlier on,
maybe,
but at the same time, it gives you guys confidence
once
in
in
the
a
direction
blue
we're
moon when I
taking,
make a new
and
character,
gets you
if it
excited.
is super
Yeah.
shiny and
I just always
beautiful.
like to preface.
It needs to be functional and
There's
easy
some
to
people who walk away
understand.
with something and
I
this is
care
the final
about the
combat,"
character,
and it's
not
like, no, that's not.
That's how fancy the
Yeah,
sliding
you're
bar.
always gonna have that. I mean,
My
it
job
what
is
it
to make sure I engrave that in your minds.
Yeah.
All right. Anything
Yeah.
else
Oh,
you want
and,
to
and
share?
I'm sorry. Yes.
Oh,
So that was on the character customization front.
yeah.
You know, Mitch and Hunter and Zach have been doing a great job working on the networking changes that we've been implementing
Yeah, I know
in
some
anticipation
players
for
do, but
Alpha
like
2,
in the grand
getting all
scheme of
things network
things,
related. Excuse me.
a
In a
UI
spot
that
where
you're
we're
not going to
gonna
see.
really see some awesome
I don't know.
interactions and
I don't
performance
want them wasting
on the
time
server
on
side
a
for
UI
Alpha
for
2. So super excited about the work that they're
character
doing.
creator. They can make that
Um,
like the last
you know,
month if
there's been a lot of
before launch
work
if they
on the
really
back
wanted to.
end on our platform, on our microservices that Mark and his team have been working on. Mark, Rich, Eric, and Twan. Very
Yeah,
excited
we
for.
did have a update that you guys probably saw. That was just to fix some bugs. There's still a few others that we're looking into in regards to like the web front. So if you're experiencing any of those issues, I know for instance, like there's one where it says that you're unbanned from the forums. That email should actually just be telling you that your email is verified. So we're getting those things resolved. It was
That's a good email.
some of the things from the update
You're
where we
unbanned.
swapped the new SSO changes over.
Absolutely. Um, Also, a lot of exciting feature work being done on the narrative tool, on some of the adjustments to the node tool. Roy's been working on the design data tool that Max has been working on. A lot of stuff coming together from engineering, supporting our design and art teams for Alpha 2. It is going to be a big undertaking, and engineering always helps lead the charge on
Well,
that.
any massive
100%.
update's going to be a big
They're
undertaking.
like the middle part of everything, and everything else kind of trickles from that.
Yes.
Very exciting stuff. So I think we're ready to move on to environment art, unless you have any additional things you want to share on the design or engineering side. I know it's a
No, I
lot
think-
to remember.
I think
Yeah, I know they come up
sure.
with new stuff every single time, but
We'd be here all day if we shared every
they need
little
they
bit
gotta
that
they
we're
gotta pick and
working
choose in
This
some
is
of
true.
this.
So let us move on to
I appreciate they're
our
going.
environment.
They have a high bar,
So moving
but they gotta bring it in on some stuff, or they need to quadruple their team. Did my sound go out?
our
Oh, their sound went out in the
environment
video.
art update. One's working on.
This is true.
So let us move on to our
Okay,
environment
I was,
art.
I was like, I downloaded
So
this
moving on.
file, knowing my luck.
Testing.
It should be fixed
Oh,
now.
there it is.
Oh, it's probably the
Strange.
scene.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was muted, some turned off. You should be all
We're
good
back.
now. Dude, look how crazy the chat is. They're like, you're
I know.
muted. They're losing their minds.
Look at these boats. Was this Harold that worked on these?
Harold.
I believe so. I'm not. I'm not certain. Engineer didn't put names on everybody who worked on all the things.
Oh, on environment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or environment, not engineering.
Yeah.
Sorry.
They're making boats now.
Yeah, engineering's making boats now.
Hey,
Oh,
if
this
they
is
got
Brandon.
the
I'm
time,
sorry, this is
make some
Brandon
boats.
McDonald. He made this boat.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Very cool.
And
Love
we
it.
have
The
a
personal
3D
ship.
version to show you.
Okay, so a basic
Now, of
boat.
course, this would be one of the very early boats that you'd be able to acquire in game.
Oh.
And he calls this, what is this one? This is the Hukelar.
Yeah.
Hukelar
Something
sailboat.
like that.
Boat
I'm not sure
version
how to
1,
pronounce
that's what I call it.
Hukelar. The Hukelar. Yeah, it looks very good. So
And
this would be the one that you kind of get early on, working your way up. Of course, should you choose to take that path in creating larger boats, this would
Excuse me.
probably be one of the first. You might take it out to go, certain fishing spots.
So you run your own guild.
Fairly certain.
You
It would
make
not
them do the grunt
require
work.
an established harbor that's connected as a point of interest from a node location, right?
like
These
you
would
could
probably
just go
be-
off on the
Yeah.
side.
Right, exactly. These would probably be capable of being both constructed and launched from any portion of the land,
Coast.
of the coast. Thank you.
Maybe
So
just not in the in the land in the middle of the of
right.
nowhere.
No, just a land dwelling
Can you imagine a land
sailboat.
boat?
Yes,
I
exactly.
could imagine. I could imagine people
Instead
making
of a
these in the
flying
middle of
Dutchman,
nowhere.
it's a flying rowboat.
Oh, why did
Don't
they
tempt
say
people.
flying rowboat? You know they're gonna make one
No,
now.
there will be some people who be like, my immersion. Uh, moving on from there, we've got some cool lighting fixtures and little bits and bobs for the environment
Yeah,
Okay.
team.
some prop
There's
work.
Owe working on more props.
I know Hal always does such a great job with these props. I think this is Adam that did a coffee table along with Brazier Work in
Yeah,
Progress,
here's
which
the
is
coffee
this one.
tables.
Yes, love these.
And then
Beautiful. Furniture, such an important aspect of the game. Um,
Harold
it is.
also made the barriers, defensive barriers, getting some siege
Are
goodness
those
in here.
mobile though?
Oh yeah.
Like, can I? My
Get a
character
view of it.
click it,
And as well
click
as
on
a
it, and move it.
fountain,
Fontan.
the fontaine. And
Oh.
then the big thing we have here
Uh-oh.
is kind of showing you some of the road system tech
Ooh, I
that
saw a clip of this
Brian
earlier.
Gans is working
Sorta.
on.
Oh,
So I'm
I'm
going to
interested to
show.
see this.
Note that these videos are not the highest quality of video.
And it did have
but
wheels. I
yeah,
saw
we're
that.
getting a little
Just
behind the scenes of seeing
is
how
it the thing that I
the
get to
road
click and put down in front of me,
system
or is it the
tech
thing I
is
get to
going.
like click on
So
and then
I'm
drag
showcasing
with my
this.
character?
It's basically a work in progress preview. It shows off how the
Oh,
change,
I see.
how we'll be changing the landscape from grass to natural elements to the different levels of roads, because there's going to be different types of roads. You know, like when it
Right.
starts out, it'll
Excuse
be,
me.
you know, dirt road, and it'll
Yeah.
change into be more.
So what you're seeing is both its material presentation, the type of road work that's present. It'll move from
I like
this
it. I like it. I like the way it's set up.
more dirt road type to perhaps a brick laid road to perhaps some super ornate, beautiful metropolis style road that will adjust around the world according to how these node structures begin to populate and advance. That's obviously a very important thing. Roads aren't just something that's visually beautiful in this game. They also have very specific mechanical
Oh, tell us more.
implications. The speed of caravans, the movement of mounts between nodes. These are all relevant structures that have game design implications and mechanic implications. So it's important that not just visually we're updating the road sequence to make
So
sense,
speedy
both from
caravans,
a
speed of mounts.
advancement of the world structure, but also that you are able to identify which roads are going to be most complementary to the movement of your caravan, let's say, right?
Oh, this would be
the structures
crazy
between nodes
idea.
you can move
A
your
website that
these are
tracks
pretty
this
important
node
aspects.
statuses,
Yeah,
right? So if
and
they don't do
to
this
kind
in
of give you
game and
some
you can't pull it
understanding
up
here,
easy, a
the node
website that's
influence is depicted by
user
these green,
generated
these like circles
content
that you're
that
seeing.
people can update for their server to say like,
As they
this is a
move and
node
scale
3,
across
the
the
roads
road,
are
that's how you're
this,
going to
this is
see
this.
these road types change.
Ah, man.
So those little
Put ads on the
circles that you
side,
see
make
around that
millions.
he's moving like the spawn point type of thing, and those circles are the thing that are altering and changing. And you can see as he's moving it around how that's changing the road path.
Yeah.
It's really, really cool. And obviously lower level nodes will have, things like dirt roads and things like that, and we'll move into cobblestone and brick. So it's very exciting stuff, and being able to showcase that a little bit from the
That's
tech
cool.
side, how the automation is going to work. I think
I'm sure it's
hopefully
going
you
to
guys
be like
enjoy seeing that.
a
If
server
you like
update.
it, let us know. We'll show
Maybe
you
every
more stuff like that.
3-4 hours or whatever, they'll do a
And
server
I think
update and
that's it for
update the
environment art,
roads.
and we can swap
It's
over
not going to be
to
instant.
the big one, which
cool,
is
but
character stuff. Are you ready for it, Steven?
Oh my gosh. Okay, wait. What are we?
Yeah.
Now I know we have a
Steven
few.
doesn't
Okay,
know what he's there
so to
for.
The
preface
one that
this,
they've never seen before is we're gonna start.
yes. Oh, we're going to start with that one. Okay,
Yeah.
got it. All right. So to preface this, of course, as you guys know, art is always a work in progress. We
Art is art.
oftentimes go through first passes, and that'll be good enough for a particular milestone or what we're attempting to achieve within that. Within that particular presentation, and then we'll come back and we'll fix things up. We'll do a second pass, we'll do a third pass. We might update some skin materials, we might do some changes to the base body. Hopefully not too many changes there, but but what we want to do as part of this kind of reveal is, of course, we're going to be revealing one of the new character races, and we haven't said which one yet. But in addition, we're going to show you some updates that have been done also to some character races that you've already seen, and how just different they look now as a result of those second or third passes. And I think that's going to be pretty exciting. I know it's always been,
And
ever
reveal
since.
of a 3D model for one they've, or a couple that they've never seen 3D models
Yes.
for. So
I think it's in the community, it's fun to, like I said earlier, it's fun to always watch the progress. But in the character models specifically, since like 2018 or 17,
oh
you
my
go
gosh,
back and look at
Steven.
the character. No, please, it's so funny. Go back and
I'm
look at the
like, the
character.
eyes, what is going
Go
on with
look
their
at the
faces
go look at the
sometimes?
character models from like 2017, 18, the Kalar or the Empyreans,
I'll go
and
look at
there's some great
APOC and see what they
community
look
memes
like.
out there about it. But ever
Those are
since,
kind of weird.
Oh,
Atkins,
one of our staff members also dressed up for Halloween as that starting character too.
oh yeah, I know.
Was that Bucky? I think it was Bucky.
I think
It's
it
so
was
good.
Bucky. It was so great. But ever since Atkins took over as lead character artist, the character team has been doing an incredible job. I mean, there's such
Because they
great
had the
talent over
boss
there
now.
between
They're on
Eli
their
and
focus.
Jinxie and Chris and Keith.
You started
And
naming.
I know, darn, I need to stop doing that. And everyone else on the character
It's
team,
gonna
the
get
whole
harder
team.
as
I
we-
know,
as we get more people.
I know. But they've been doing a great job. So let's reveal. So who is this race that we're gonna show?
Right. The
Oh.
first one we're gonna show is the reveal of.
Oh,
the
we don't
Vec.
have to show it yet. Wait, hold on.
Oh.
Wait, don't show it. Did we show it?
No,
We're gonna
I haven't shown it yet.
Okay. So this is the VEC. So what do we know about the VEC?
Oh my
Right.
God,
The
Yeah.
VEC are these star.
I almost hit the button.
I know. I'm sorry. The VEC are these star-gazing sub-race of orcs that kind of delineated away from the original Kai-Vec, a protectorate that was this, large orcish kingdom prior to the fall and to the exodus of Vera. And the VEC continued about their focus on the stars and how they could glean the best uses of the essence and be predictive of the future, and that almost astrology aspect of what Vera has
astrology.
available to it. So let's take a look at the VEC.
Show me something good, Steven.
I feel like I need to do like a
Have
sound
some
effects,
like a sound. Yes.
like
Wait.
like
Why would
Oh,
you
wait,
pick
no,
that?
not that one.
not that one. Drum roll.
Yeah. Yes. Drum
All right,
roll.
drum
Totally
roll.
drum roll.
All right. I'm just kidding. All right, here we go. The first reveal of the.
Is it like full screen? Oh no, it's like cyber. Oh
Yeah.
yes.
Interesting.
So these
Okay, so
are
they're-
the VEC.
All right, trolls.
And what you can see here, obviously, is you can see the male VEC and you can see a female VEC.
Why does the male one look like
There
he's
are
like
some
stone?
significant, body influences and differences, especially when it comes to the ears, the nose, that brow structure that delineates them away from the Renkai. Those are the main things. Where there are some similarities,
It
where
does
you
look
can
pretty
still
good.
see
I
that
would like
orcish
to see them
presence.
all
It's obviously the
comparison,
underbite
so I
that's
can see
present,
all the
kind of
races and their
teeth
uniqueness.
structure that's available. Those more kind of tribal
Who's texting?
influences across the face artwork
Oh,
that's present.
Snapchat.
But these guys, I think, are a major distinguishing factor between what players are accustomed to in general player character races, like humans and elves. Those are relatively standard, right?
Mhm.
There's not too much
Talk
you
to
can really
Mark.
deviate here, but the VEC gives us an opportunity from an orc perspective to really kind of play towards influences that aren't typically seen in orc races, right? Almost almost an alien look with especially the color of the skin tone, that kind of bluish.
Oh, just wait till I show you some other
influence.
ones.
Show me more.
Yes, now
we got
here-
some
so-
variants for you.
I love the variant. Show me the big bug-eyed
Oh, the
variant. I
big-
want to see
I
that
don't know
one.
which one that one is
Oh,
on
I
here.
wanna
Just
see
go
the
through
bug-eyed.
them all.
So
Let's do
these
it.
are
Might be
going
able
to be.
studio mode it one sec.
Oh, okay.
I'll look. Okay, I think I know which one it is. I will swap to that one for you.
So now the hope is that these types of variants that we're
What?
about to see are going to be customization
All right, that looks like an alien.
options, that are available. Almost. Somebody said burn it.
He's so
Yeah, I would burn that too.
terrible.
No, he's not scary. Look at his. He's got puppy eyes.
I love it. Aw.
He
He's
looks
just looking
stupid with
for
the
a
little hair
friend.
in the top too.
He
Just
just
a
wants to kiss
friend.
you
Yeah.
with his
Look at with
tusks.
his little teeth, little tusk teeth. But of course, you can see that there are still similarities, right, between some of the facial features. But this would almost be a an ethnicity within the vet culture. A little bit of a
Someone's like,
deviation.
who needs a telescope with those eyes? Someone said that in Discord.
Who needs a telescope? That's
Yeah.
hey, that's why the eyes maybe progressed like that. They were always looking at the stars, right? So
Oh,
they're
yeah.
trying to take
Sure,
in
Perhaps
as
more
much
Steven.
depth
light as
Sure.
perception.
possible.
That they can see
Yes.
further than everybody else. That'd be cool.
Right. The more dilated the eyes are, the more they can take in exposure wise in the darkness and looking up at the stars. I mean, these are elements of their evolutionary path that influenced kind of their visual presentation.
All right, we have another
Somebody said
version.
they're the grays.
We have another version for you all as well, which looks badass.
That transit
Oh, there we go.
that.
Yeah. Now here
So
you
if
can
this is a
see,
vet
I think would be a little
and
bit
it
more
looks like a
similarity
male,
with the Renkai, right? And the
Hmm.
shape of the
you
brow
can
and
tweak
the
them
shape
this.
of the
If you can
eyes,
have this much
almost
Less
tweaking,
kind of
this from
muscular.
bug eye to this
yeah,
guy,
absolutely less muscular.
there's high
But
hope for their quality
the
here.
features, what they're presenting from a personality
Yeah,
perspective. I mean,
yeah,
they have
the
a very
villain from El
cunning
Dorado. That's a
brow
good
there, right?
reference.
Like
That is a good one.
that is something that's important, um, in their presentation.
I love it.
This
Yeah.
is
Sick.
pretty impressive. If
Very
that
sick.
was
So
one,
you
like,
guys will
here's a
have to go and
male
comment
vet, and then
after our live
here's
stream.
three
Go on Twitter, go
versions
on the
of
forums, go
the
on
vet
Reddit. Give us some
drastically.
commentary on what you think about the VEC.
That's cool.
Did they live up to your
I'm
expectations?
personally, I don't
What do
care
you
very
like
much
about
for
them? What
this
do you wish you
look.
could change?
I would like to see
This
the
is
full
I
bodies and everything
personally
to
love them. I think
judge
they
it
look
in the
great.
end.
They're very different from the other
Um,
races, which I think is important.
Absolutely.
I don't know if I would make
It
a
is very
character
important.
that's a
If
vet.
if you're looking for a different type of race, then there are other options for you. But if this is
There's
your jam,
one important thing also that's distinguishing about the VEC, and this is something that we'll be showcasing later, is that
Sell them to me.
their base idle stance. The stance that they have is going to be a little bit more contorted, right? It's going to have a little bit more, odd language across
Yeah, the
the shoulder
Renkai
structure
I liked
and kind
more
of their stance
than
and how
this.
they kind of move about. And one of the main
I
reasons
need to
for
see them
that
all,
is because,
even the dwarves.
when we think about a threat assessment perspective.
You got to see them next to
We
everybody
think
else.
about you coming across other players in the world and being able to identify and distinguish between the different races at a distance, almost that silhouette profile, right? The Vec share their height with the Kalar and the Valoon a little bit, right? They're very similar in height to the Kalar and the Valoon, but we needed someone to distinguish. We needed something to distinguish their silhouette, and that thing is going to be how they stand.
Oh,
what their
the model
what their
I
stance
haven't
looks
seen
like.
yet.
Something that's going to be very exciting also to show in the future, once animation has an opportunity to give us these variants, is going to be that base idle animation when you're just kind of standing, not in a combat stance, right? Not in combat, but when you're standing outside, non-combat idle, that you'll have different
They said they didn't show
different
full body because they're trying to get
stances and
unique
forms that
idle.
you can choose at the character creation point, right? Whether you walk in a more masculine way or a more feminine way, or perhaps you have these different types
They don't have to go too
of
crazy with the idle
movements to
animation.
your
I don't
base
think.
idle, non-combat idle. That's going to be something that we want to offer as an option as well. We'll expand on that further in the future when animations had an opportunity to provide some of those variants, and we can internally
maybe
test
the
that.
idle
But
animation.
that's the desire.
Yeah, I
It
know
may
this is
change
in the
future,
Renkai. Yeah.
but I think we're capable of doing that.
yeah, it'd be neat as you're doing your creation of your character, being able to choose your idol animation and make yourself a little different than everybody else.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, if they're making every race unique, it's nice.
Speaking of our orc
It's a
friends,
small
who are
detail
very
that I
similar
appreciate
but
that I
different,
don't know if they need to work
Renkai.
on.
we have shown
when it's
the
alpha too.
Renkai before in a similar manner to how we're showing the
Maybe
Vec.
like
But now
placeholders.
we have the 3D model work in progress for you all to see. So
That's
I'm going
right.
to share that
And
with you.
fun note real quick.
Okay,
Actually,
fun note.
the Renkai themselves, excuse me, the Renkai models will actually be part of our next milestone within the next, I think, month, we're going to have them now fully fledged in game with armors
Oh,
and
okay.
everything that's playable internally as we do our QA testing and as we do our milestone testing. I know that's on the Sprint 4 character, and that's why you guys are getting to see the updated models on the Renkai, because we wanted to go through that second pass on their skin materials, on their face. And keep in mind, as you're looking right now at the VEC, like what
Can I
facial
show
features the
it?
VEC have. Yes, as you
Oh,
see the
gotcha.
Renkai, you can see kind of the differences in the facial structures.
Okay, can I
Now
show
the Renkai
Can I
also
show the Renkai
are
now?
yeah, you can show them.
Okay. Yeah.
The Renkai are big boys and girls, so they're the tallest player character race
Play
that you
similar game
can
with
have in the game.
Yeah, that,
They're also
you know,
very buff and very
Left
meaty.
4 Dead
These
and Back 4
big,
well,
imposing
fair point, man. Fair
silhouettes.
point.
They're beastie
You
boys.
gotta those
Well, wait,
details.
that's probably
I'm just
that's
saying
not
the
Total
details
Nine.
at this
Those
point in
Beastie Boys,
development
Beastie Boys.
to
Oh, yeah,
me
that
are
is
not
a
something that they should
So they're not
focus
technically
on.
Beastie Boys,
Just leave
but they're
placeholders.
beast-like boys. No.
But something that the last 6 months
But
of
you can see
development,
the features
they
here.
make
These
the
are
idle
very large. If
stances.
you
They
were to
really
put
get those
a
down.
VEC next
Right
to
now,
a
it should be more
Renkai,
of
the
a
VEC would almost stand probably at
like
just
more of a
beneath the chest,
the
just beneath
economy, the combat styles,
his
things like
pecs.
that should be worked, in my
So
opinion.
these
But
are
if
big
their
boys
art team
and
doesn't, or
girls.
their character team doesn't
And
have
then we
anything
have
else to
another version
do,
of them
then yeah,
for the
make the
male.
idle
We won't be
animation.
showing the female.
Hey
quite
Andy,
yet,
what's up,
but
buddy?
maybe in a future live stream you'll get to see that. So stay tuned. We will be showing females of other things.
Oh, other things.
Oh, this one is the Asmonbald version. No, I'm just, I'm
Asmon-
just kidding. I just love
True, but I guess
Asmonbald.
they're
No, I'm
just talking about
joking.
general animation.
Yeah,
That's true.
I'm just kidding. Do we have some? We have some close-ups on the face, right?
Of the orcs.
Oh,
No,
not
the
bad,
orcs,
Andy.
but,
Just
What on the Renkai? I
watching
thought
a
we did on the
development
Renkai.
not on
update.
the
Close-ups?
not on the Renkai. I don't have
Nothing
any.
too exciting.
We
Um,
could do somewhere.
but we can definitely share some more on social and stuff. So stay tuned for lots of.
So the
goodies.
Renkai just look like really
The next
beefy
thing that we have never shown
humans, kind of.
is the Nikuin dwarves. And so this will be the first time you are going to get to see them as well. And I don't know if you want to preface anything in regards to that, Steven.
Or dwarves.
Oh, on the Nakua? Yeah. So obviously, excuse me, one of the biggest feedbacks that we had out of Alpha 1 was the representation of the Dunir versus the Nikuin. And that was great, really, information that you guys, testers and audiences out there, provided us, kind of what your anticipation was of the Dunir, more traditional dwarven presentation versus the more innovative approach to dwarven society and the Nakua, and being that more almost Polynesian influenced.
I forget these names
beach
for their
dwarves, so to speak.
species.
So
Or their races, I should say.
oh, I just got someone shared me a file. Oh, that's a different one. I'm sorry. So we took that advice, we took that feedback, and we went and we made some adjustments, and we delineated the differences between the presentation of the Dunir versus the Nakua. So are we showing the Nakua or the Dunir one first?
Nikuin first.
Okay,
It'll
so
be
the
new.
Nikuin
I'm showing
one.
all the new
Tickle my
stuff,
throat.
and then obviously Dunir are going to have new models too, but they've seen some
Yes.
more of that than they have.
Show me little people.
All right, here we go.
Oh, it's a
There
giant
we
head.
are.
There we go. So
Okay,
you can
so I get
see
what they're
that, and
trying here,
you'll
but
get
this is what
context for this in just a moment. Once
They look like gnomes, people are saying.
a little bit, right? So once you see this Nikuin body type, and you see, this Nikuin
He's got a little belly there.
presentation. Who's Tyler? What do they keep saying Tyler for? What's
They
Tyler
think
one?
Tyler one is he's a Twitch streamer. So
Oh, I'm sorry.
he's a content creator.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
That's
it's okay.
terrible.
So he looks-
Tyler one's a Nikuin, like in real life, or what is that?
No, he's not.
No.
But they
Oh, okay.
are saying that he looks similar. I think. Is what they're
Okay,
saying.
got it.
He's a
Okay,
very
well,
buff dude.
So this
Okay,
is like
sorry,
a
I didn't know that reference.
South
But you can see here, right? This
Pacific
almost
Islander.
has, the proportions
look
of
to me.
his body isn't that indicative of a dwarf, right? Of a traditional dwarf. and instead it has more of that halfling look a little bit, right?
Yeah.
It has a
It
little
kinda
bit more
does.
halfling, and this is kind of similar to what was in Alpha 1 for the Dunir, but you're going to see significant
Show
differences.
me the
Let's show them the
Junior.
Junior because they're upset, I think.
Yes,
But
let us
we need to show you
so
context that,
Put them
like,
let's
next to
give you
each
there's
other.
different
context.
bodies for different people. You know, not everyone
Yes,
wants to be the stocky dwarf.
that's
But here we
right.
go. So this
All right,
is
this is more
the
classic
dwarves that
dwarf.
you all, I think, are wanting.
Now this is the
Different type
Dunir.
of race. Yeah.
Yes, and you can see in the Dunir, you can see the update to the skin material and textures. Like it is, this is a major update for the Dunir, and these are the more traditional dwarves. You can see here, this is some of the in-game achievable armor that they're wearing, I believe, right? This isn't a cosmetic armor. Yeah, I think this is the in-game achievable armors. But you can see just the quality on that second or third pass that we've done here with the Dunir, what they look like, and compared to the Nikuan, right? The Nikuan race we want it to be different. We want it to stand out apart from the Dunir, and in
Yeah,
that
this
sense,
this,
that's
this
why you
looks
have
much more
those
like a
more
dwarf to me, but
halfling-oriented influences. Whereas here, you can see in the body type just the discrepancy in what these um, uh, proportions look like anatomically.
also look like
It is a
this
more
one, their upper
traditional
body's
dwarven
massive. Like they just
character
been
race.
working iron all
Somebody
It's
said
day.
this
they're
is
like
how
the cheeks. It's 'cause
somebody
it's
said this is how my 4-year-old looks when walking around the house.
dude, your 4-year-old is buff, man.
It's a buff. It's a buff 4-year-old.
Buff baby.
So, as we said with the VEC, make sure you guys go and comment on Twitter, Discord, Reddit, our forums. Give us your feedback. Take a look at these. Grab some screenshots of it. Give us kind of your feedback on how these either met what your anticipated kind of influences for these races present. How awesome they look. Or would you want to play one of these? What type of customization options you would want to have.
Yeah,
Obviously,
Andy.
the dwarves are
Yeah,
going to
it
have the
does.
most expansive beard customization options available. But I
And
really love
we've,
how we've updated these character races. I
we've
think they
got
look
a
great.
female version as well
Oh,
for those
Oh,
lady dwarves out
those are
there.
some cheeks there.
okay. Now here's my idea for the female version. By the way, female dwarves. It's reported in Ashes that they're capable of having beards, right? But what do you think? Can we go back real quick 1 second to the
Yeah,
previous
to the male.
image?
Yeah.
Yeah, to the male. Notice on the male, does this one have the body hair? Yeah. Notice on the male, you can see elements of body hair all across, patches of body hair there, right? And let's go back to the female. What do you guys think if we were to incorporate body hair in the same fashion across the female body as well? Is that something that is unique that you'd want to see on
Yeah,
the
give me a hairy little
as an
lady.
option on the female?
I
It's
think
like,
giving it as an
no,
option. I think there's a mix. I think if it's an option that people can
yeah,
toggle,
total option. Yeah.
I think that's cool. 'Cause
Absolutely.
just like ladies who want beards, like I know I want to be a dwarf with a beard, so I think it'd be cool to.
I think it
Also
would be
be able to
great
have that.
if as a character customization option for the female Duniers, you had body hair as an option, and some of that body hair in certain locations could be braided. Like, what if they had
Yeah,
armpit hair
Braided
I
that
don't.
was
armpit
very
hair.
This
long
is
and had
like,
braids and like
I
little
think this is
ornaments
like
adorned
Steven
on
How
or
is
the
that with the
Margaret's idea
armor?
for
You're
a
making the
dwarf with a
character
beard female.
model artist.
I
Go
don't know
like,
anyone that cares.
Well, I mean, these would
Really,
be
like, who
these would
wants?
be
you just have armor
visible
holes.
if you take off. No, if you take off the armor, or
Okay.
yeah, you could
Oh,
have like
excuse
maybe
me.
armor holes. I don't know.
Run out of
Or what if they
teeth.
had like tail hair, on the back or something, and it just kind of came
Yeah,
out and was like
yeah.
a
Let's
tail
have a
or
tail,
something. I
a
don't know.
big
Kind of
wad of like a
interesting.
Tony tail, literally coming right out,
You're
right
getting some
above that
Toolnod
little
territory there,
little
Steven.
underwear there.
I'm, I'm just theorizing, but these are the types
Steven,
of conversations that you
What
guys
hair-
can.
you're killing me.
What hair braids? The chest
We're not gonna have butt braids.
These are
and for
just
No.
those asking, we will be cutting. We'll have the stream up on YouTube, and we'll also cut out little bits and pieces that we always post on social. So if you follow us on social media, I think all the links are down below right
Braided
there.
butt hair, yeah.
We'll be sharing a
Yeah,
lot of little
that's
bits
what's
and
gonna
pieces,
happen. We're
so,
gonna get it. We're gonna
if
get a
you
bunch
like
of
more bite-sized content. That is always the best way to follow us and continue getting
teenagers with
But,
braided butt
yeah.
hair.
Are we ready to show the armor
Oh,
set
man.
stuff? for the junior?
Yeah, we could
Okay.
absolutely. I'm sorry. I got a little ahead of
Guild
myself there.
leader.
Man, I just want you guys to have those conversations. Let us know your
I will
thoughts on
never
that.
have a main character
It
that's a
is
dwarf.
water. Yes, this
I
is
never
water.
will.
It's not anything but water.
Yeah, he's drinking water.
Maybe like
We always
like a
couldn't tell
crap
what he's
fourth
drinking
character,
water.
but not.
So this is
My son can
the
be a
tier
dwarf
5
with butt
armor.
hair.
Yes. Is this tier 5 or tier 4?
It said
I think
tier
this-
5.
Oh, it's at tier 5. Okay, yeah.
Yes.
So this is an example of in-game achievable. This is fully modeled and completed.
It looks cool.
Top grade armor, and this is obviously a plate set that
Yeah,
you're
it
seeing.
does. I like the mohawk, kind of the
This is something
Centurion
that
Roman.
is an armor set you can
Greek.
achieve in game. Let us
you get your
know
devil horns
in
version.
the comments and following up this, what your thoughts are on this in-game
I
achievable
like
armor
one of the
comparative
shoes has
to
like
some of the
big
cosmetics,
spikes on it,
obviously,
which to me would be like
that we've presented in
unwieldy
the past.
when you're
Is
running.
this the
But
level of armor
it
that
looks cool.
you're looking at and saying, "Damn, this is epic! Like this is the armor I would want to achieve."
I don't want them
This
to
does
make.
not incorporate visual effects. So,
Right.
excuse me. Some of the enchantment options that you have on weapons will present visual effects, glows,
Okay, cool.
of blue and red
That'll
colors.
be great reflecting off of
There's
this.
obviously going to be status conditions that can be applied as well, like as you might be CC'd or whatever. But
The one
from
on
an
the
enchantment
right, the
perspective,
back
you can-
armor
you
seems a little
can,
lacking
have
to
a
me.
glowing weapon as well. And this
Like
doesn't
it's just
show that.
chainmail. At least the one on this, has
And
that little.
last but not least, this is
triangle
also
on
still
it.
a work in progress, but the Kalar Mal is being
And
worked
one
on
other
as well.
one
Oh,
other thing, by the way, about this armor
Okay,
set,
go
and
back.
it's important to note. Oh, there we go. He
I'm
doesn't
back.
have armor. He's naked.
Yeah. He's naked.
He's
He's
naked.
naked.
One of the things about these armor sets that's important to note, is that we're not going for that visual appearance of really oversized, unrealistic looking, kind of overly fantastical, armor pieces. Of course, we're going with super epic looking. We're going with, real. Or ornate, kind of appearance, and I think this armor really does a great job of
I
capturing
do like this that they're not going
balance
crazy
between
with some of this
what
armor
traditionally
costumes and
some
stuff.
MMO styles have, which is a little bit overly
Like I played
fantastical
SWTOR,
appearance of armors,
and some of the armor in
but
that game is
keeping it
ridiculous.
realistic and at the
Like,
same time really
I
epic
think like the
and
top
still
gear right
ornate
now
and complex.
in SWTOR is like giant
that
bug
has
eye
progression to that
goggles
gear
on, and it's
appearance,
everybody
right?
can use it. It looks
Not
so
only
stupid.
that, but it's important to note, like,
Glad they have a costume
gear
thing
is
I can drop
also
over
part
behind
of
my
the
bug
silhouette,
eyes.
right? This is another threat assessment component when you're coming across players. You're taking a look. Oh, okay, I'm aware this guy has a full set on that is the top grade kind of gear that is
I wish
useful
they
at
had
this.
had a hammer.
like
I hope that's going to be a weapon in this game, like just a big,
That's
not
great.
like Thor's hammer,
Swap
but
over
like a
to
big,
our
like
Kalar
two-handed
Mal here,
hammer would be
who's still
cool.
work in progress.
Or even Thor's hammer if you
He's
had
in
two
his
of them.
T-pose, so he's got his scary eye, his scary eyes.
Oh yeah.
But
Yeah, so these
we're
are just
seeing a lot of changes.
this is just adjustments on the body. Excuse me, on the body.
Yeah, hit him in the back.
Sorry, hold on.
Steven's got his cough. Don't
All
worry.
right.
If Dwarf is a
He's
mage,
been cough for a long
they
time.
have a
yeah,
big
I know.
stick,
I'm totally
a
fine.
big
Before
two-handed
new people come in and they're
hammer,
concerned
and
because
they just
think
cast
that
their
you-
magical
The
spells with
the
it.
problem is that I am talking literally all day long, constantly, and unfortunately sometimes that irritates my throat a little bit. But I'm not sick or anything. Anyways, what you're seeing here is obviously these are updates to the
I
Kalar
hope
base
that
body.
you
these
can
are
like a dwarf
important.
mage,
You may not
you can
really
use your
notice
wand,
as much, but
but
these
maybe
are,
like something's
passes
going
the
on
character
that you
team is
switch
doing
to
on
your
that body,
two-handed
on the face,
hammer, and you
on
put
what
your
that
little
mid-level,
wand away,
body
and
type
you just
looks like.
jump in
So
and just
from
pound
this
the
point
ground.
is where
That
you're
would be
going to
so
get that
cool for
character
me.
customization options.
Just
You're going to be able to play with
maybe not as
the size of
effective.
the
Maybe
calves
it's like
and
a slow
thighs
attack
and
or something.
musculature,
But you
the,
just have that
how toned
backup
and defined
melee.
is
You
the
just
body
come in,
versus
boom, right on the
some of
ground.
the lengths and proportions
You know,
on
crush
the
someone's
limbs.
toes.
But you can also see updates here to the skin. You can see
Yeah.
updates here to the face. You can see updates here to body definition.
You want to
these
play
are starting
Skyrim?
to get
Yeah.
to a place where
Oh, I'm sure.
I think is
This
a
game has
very,
that vibe.
very compelling character race, right? And is on the same par as any
Oh,
AAA
there goes my tea.
MMORPG that you guys have experience with, that we've had experience with in the past. So
All they would have to do
I
is
think
just,
it's looking really good.
you know,
Yeah.
Everybody's got a
We'll be
weapon.
showing more stuff as we.
You can
as we
you can
once
use
everyone
any
What is
weapon in the
this?
game
is
for any
ready to
class.
we
If
see
I
some
Somebody
remember.
said this is the Asmonbald character.
Steven.
No.
But
Next up,
I don't know.
we've got
I think
some
it'd be cool.
amazing
As long as I can wield
new character
any
art as
weapon
well
on any
from-
class.
This one was made by Eli.
Maybe not
This
efficiently.
is the
That'd be
Regalia
fun.
of the Plated Heart.
You know, pull a little dagger out as
Which
mage.
is-
Eli did a great job with this set.
Yeah. Very interesting set because it's one of those things where you're going to a gala, but you want to make sure that you're armored still.
Yeah, almost
No
that,
weapon
that
limits,
gold,
yep.
that gilded, armor piece on the females. Almost full body dress there. I think that one of my favorite things is, of course, it's tricky with animation sometimes, but having that that full kind of canopy-esque looking dress piece is really cool. I love the flow of it from an animation perspective in game. Of course, sometimes it's difficult as the feet try to clip into the to the armor itself, but I know that our cloth our cloth simulated physics and whatnot, those types of pieces are usually shine.
And then
they
I
look
have
great.
the turntable for this, so you can see the 3D model.
This is the Valoon character race.
Yep. So you're kind of getting to see more of it as it's coming to fruition. Next up, we have the Salt Spine, our big chunky boy.
Who chose that picture?
Oh,
Amazing.
this was John
Okay.
looked at this guy and loved this guy. And I looked at it too
Yay.
and I was like, wow, this guy, he's pretty cool. Was it Danny that did this one?
This one is Danny, yeah.
Is
Yeah,
this
Danny
from, like,
did
a
a great job.
pre-order
This
pack?
this mount is just unbelievable.
Man,
Now,
geez.
is this an in-game achievable?
No, this is a cosmetic.
Oh,
It's a
cosmetic.
cosmetic. Okay.
Yeah.
It looks.
Hey,
It looks
you
great.
there's
I
you
mean,
always have to have mounts.
I would
Every video
love
they
to
have to have
ride
like
that. I
5
want him
mounts.
to be super slow and regal in his movements. You know what I mean? He looks like a royal mount. So
you
on the
can have
animation
them
side,
slow.
I know that they're obviously going to share
But-
with the scale runner and stuff, but if there was a way we could kind of
He's
slow
gotta have, like,
down
storage
his
to make him
idle at
slow or
least and
something.
give him just kind of like a "you're beneath me" attitude, I think that would fit perfectly with his persona.
Well, that makes sense because he is a noble steed. So I'm glad that that came across to you because that is
Yeah.
that's how I believe this one. I worked with Scott to design.
Nice.
Yeah, the set.
Yeah, I love the
Yeah.
horn works on the face as well.
I don't get why it's got
Scott,
dangling horns though.
had a
I'll
really
be honest.
cool
It's like
theme for
it's
this
weird
because this was
there.
all obviously most of the set is very Nikuin. If you check it out,
Cool.
it was part of the Home Waters.
Oh, is that true? Z said his name is Frank. Is it Frank?
They've been naming him Frank in the community.
Okay.
All right, next up we've got
Bird feelers.
some stuff from Jinsey. This is first the Embered kit,
Oh, that's cool.
which you've seen the
Oh,
Fox
look
of the
at
Pyre.
the little baby
These
foxes.
are the babies.
Aww.
These are little pets.
Look at the little fur babies.
Now we're going to show off an in-game achievable.
So those are the pets that kind of just follow you around. They don't have any in-game relevance or like mechanical features, right? They're not going to interact with enemies or yourself, but they're just going to like stand at your feet and follow you. They'll like lick their paws and animation and clean themselves or something, right?
In SWTOR, I have like 500
I love
little
them.
pets like
They look
this.
awesome.
I love them.
They're adorable.
I don't know why.
This next one is an in-game
Just
achievable
nice.
item.
Oh,
Dun,
a hippo.
Zillia said that that's a waste of FPS. Somebody ban Zillius from chat, please. I'm just
Steve.
kidding. You're entitled to your opinion.
Oh man.
This is our hippo friend, also made by Jinsey. And there's a
Aw.
variant of it, so you can kind of see the two.
Yeah,
Let me
that's
line up the
that's a
pictures,
big boy and
Margaret.
girl as well. I think that's a big girl. She's got a lot of jewelry on her.
Kind of
it's
both have
more
jewelry, but
I think
That's true.
other body parts are telling that it might be a female.
I'm looking at her fingernails, and she has them kind of painted and long.
Yes, the fingernails. That's what.
Yeah.
That's what it
That
is.
gave it away. Gave it away.
Yeah.
Also, she's got very pretty little eyelashes.
Aw. Dude, hippos are dangerous.
Hippos are
Actually,
dangerous.
they're
But you just
so
got.
this is an
very
in-game mount.
dangerous.
Okay.
I think the first time I saw hippos
That's a
as a
cool
kid
one.
was in the movie Congo. when they got attacked by the hippos, and like from that point forward, I knew that hippos were dangerous, and
Oh
if I
my
ever came
god.
across one, to steer clear. But it
Oh shit, Steven.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, their jaws are just super strong. They can just like crush things. And with like no effort, they're just like hump and eats it. It's
Oh
crazy.
yeah. You know,
Um,
have you ever seen the videos of like hippos eating water, like full watermelons?
yes, yes. It's
All right,
cool.
all right.
Yes, it
Yeah.
is super
Steven,
cool. They
we're getting
just
off.
chomp those
We're
things
getting
down.
distracted. I know it's a hippo mount. Maybe
Um,
not fun.
People are wondering if this will be a group mount. I think it's just a singular, like you just sit on it, but
It's a single mount. Now, is
yeah.
this a cosmetic?
No, this is an in-game achievable.
Oh, this is an in-game achievable mount.
Yeah.
So again, comparatively, guys, I know a lot of times in the past, people have been wanting to see some of the
Drug
in-game
up.
achievable
They
stuff. We
must.
try to keep the in-game
They're in
achievable stuff
California,
relatively
man.
close to the chest
I'm
because that's stuff
pretty
we
sure
want
that's
you to
legal there.
discover and be
They're
excited
token away.
about. But here's an example of the complexities and just the ornateness of this mount comparatively,
That's why I
right?
think Margaret has those.
But
I think she
this is
puts
a really cool
contacts
looking
in
mount.
because her eyes always
I
look a
love
little different
hippos,
all the
and I
time.
can't wait to see the
And I
animation
think
behind
it's
it
because
too.
she's so high.
All
She
right.
has to
With
put
that, we're
contacts in to
gonna wrap
cover
things up
up.
with going through our Q&A. We're still a little
What
over
do you
on time.
call a curious question? What do
Mhm.
you call a group of hippos?
A group of hippos. I'll
A
look it up.
pack.
I don't know.
Is it like a murder of
Group
hippos, a
of
flock of
hippos
hippos?
is
I think it's
called
maybe a flock.
Yeah, look at those
A
eyes
pod.
of hers.
it's called a
They're like
bloat, a
some.
pod, or a herd.
I don't know.
Oh,
They're so weird.
a bloat of
I
hippos.
don't know why.
A bloat of hippos.
Does she need to be more special?
A bloat of hippos.
Boast more
I
specialists?
like it. All right, going
Oh,
into
cat
Q&A.
eyes. Oh,
Our
that makes
first
sense.
question here is from Sia Curry. Kiri? I don't know if I'm saying your names right. Let me know. And they want to know about nodes. Once a node goes into lockout after a siege, can the quest to obtain a siege scroll still be completed, or is it locked out for the time period?
It's a very good question.
It is a
So
good
as it
question.
stands now, the quest for that node can still be completed. However, there is a time limit for those scrolls. So if you select, I think if you select that node still as a target for that scroll, it's possible that you would have the lifetime of that scroll would be under the lockout of the node. So it's
Oh, okay.
possible you could waste that. We might change that in the future. I'm sure that design is going to want to revisit that.
Yeah, I could see them
So don't hold
changing
me to
that.
it right now. It might be
Yeah, and I
locked
know
out.
you didn't want people to gamify it where like you're holding on to scrolls,
Correct.
you know,
Yep.
because then you just like
You threaten
do a
people.
bunch of have everyone have a bunch of scrolls and just hold on to them. It's
Yes.
not ideal. Magma Kitten wants to know about naval content. Will there be a dark lake of rivers or any expanse of naval content included within the Underrealms?
That's a very good question. Not for now, and I can't. I wouldn't rule out the opportunity for something along those lines in the future with an
Yeah.
expansion or an update. But at the moment, no, there's not a plan for Underrealm naval activity.
That would be weird,
And then
but would
Songren
be
wants to know
crazy
about
fun.
Bard gameplay.
Maybe just
In
cave
the
combat.
interview with MMORPG, Stephen mentioned again the formations for bards. Will this be primarily a way that bards buff their teams?
I'm not sure if it's going to be primarily. It is definitely going to be incorporated as certain for certain skills, certain abilities. Those might be those might be more key abilities, right? Higher tier abilities, but it probably will not be the primary function of the bard's role, requiring formation related buffs every time they attempt to buff the
That
bard.
might be a lot.
Right. And then Pete Nasty wants to know about utility skills. Could you elaborate on the potential of stealth when it comes to both utility and combat?
Um, I'm sorry, say that one more time.
Yeah, say that again.
Could you elaborate on the potential of stealth when it comes to both utility and combat?
Both utility and combat. Yeah, I think one of the things about stealth that's really important is, and this is oftentimes in other games that we played, is take the take the encounter with a boss or with NPCs. If you draw aggro, you draw hate because of perhaps maybe some of the damage that you're doing, or you need to kind of clear that hate, or dip out of the fight momentarily. Stealth would be a great utility component to achieve that goal. Additionally, from a combat perspective, of course, stealth is a huge tool when it comes to kind of sneaking up on a target, not being easily detected, staying on the fringes of the fight, and choosing your time to engage. I mean, those are the elements of stealth that we want to incorporate. If you're trying to navigate past, NPC enemies to make it down to a group in a dungeon, and you're a class that has stealth available to you, it's a great utility mechanic for you to avoid aggro of those monsters as you're moving down.
Right. Our next question is from Jeremy, and they want to know about group mounts.
Yes.
How are group mounts different from regular mounts in regards to unlocking or obtaining them?
Good question.
Um, when it comes to unlocking and obtaining, you can probably imagine that group mounts are going to be a little bit more in depth and rarer. These are mounts that have additional mechanics associated with the number of people that can ride them. They might have certain types of weapon systems on
That's
those
what I was
riding
looking for.
points that players can utilize. In that sense, these are going to be more rare. They are going to be more difficult to
But
obtain.
can I breed them?
Yeah.
Okay. And to reiterate, because people are like, there's not going to be any stealth. He wasn't saying that there's not going to be stealth. It's just more that it's part of a class, like an archetype feature.
Oh, there absolutely is stealth. Stealth is 100% an option in the game. It's not going to render yourself or the individual who uses the stealth completely obscured. You're still going to be able to identify. There's going to be utility skills that can reveal stealth from a PvP perspective. There's going to be perceptions that certain NPCs have that can see through stealth, like tremor sense or life sense. There are elements and mechanics that relate to stealth and how it is balanced in the game. It's not going to be similar to stealth that's found in other games where the target is rendered completely invisible. They can make it past every enemy, NPC, or monster. They can use stealth at all times. These are elements that is a tit for tat. These are components of class kits that are going to have corresponding counters as it relates to other classes as well.
One of my favorite things is when we were kind of showing off some of our combat through Apocalypse, is that people would change into like structures in the world, and people would be like, "Oh, that's just a fountain," and then you'd be like going by, and then it comes out and gangs you. It was intriguing to have that kind of stealth. I don't think I've seen.
Yeah, I don't think people are getting that.
Our next question
People aren't
is going to be
understanding
from
that.
Emberstone, and it's about building cosmetics. How will homestead skins
Which is
affect the
fine.
space available for furniture?
People can learn.
How will affect the space available for furniture? So furniture, so the space available for furniture should be relatively similar between building types. That at least we'll try to make sure that that's the case. When it comes to how furniture is incorporated as part of your layout and allotment, these are going to be hard numerical values that are based on the building type that you have, right? So the larger the home, the more furniture pieces you can have.
Makes sense.
From a space perspective, that's something that's accounted for in the modeling of the actual building.
Yeah, and when it comes to if you put like a cosmetic house on top of your normal house, those cosmetics should be similar in size. The shape will change, right? So maybe the room layout will be different, but it'll still be like a one-story building, right? And putting it on.
Correct.
We'll have more details about those things coming. I think I actually had a chat with the design team. They're kind of fleshing some stuff out, and then Steven's going to approve it or change things. And then I'll be coming back to give you guys a little
It's all
bit more
bad.
detail on
Change it.
what specifically the cosmetics that we've sold will be able to go on. So you have a little bit more context, because I know there's a lot of questions regarding that. And I mentioned this on the forums as well. Our next question here is from Lance Slabbert, and they want to know about racial lore.
If they're really big on this breeding and stuff, I'm sure we can make
multi-mounts
multi-mounts.
races and cultures.
But
At some point,
maybe the
yes.
armor will have to be
Again, we're
acquired
wanting
as
to keep
well,
a
that
lot of that stuff
special
pretty
or
close to the
something,
chest.
so that you can have
Of course, it's
multiple.
not something we can keep close to the chest forever. As we enter into Alpha 2 and into our betas, that stuff is going to be revealed. And I would look forward to those future dates for more information on it.
All right. And the next question is about um, mount combat. And they would like to know, will mounts have the ability to charge slash trample, or will players be able to use lances or mounts? And this comes
I
from
want to use
Nerdrock.
lances. I want to charge.
Yes, there will be a number of different combat feature skills on mounts. It kind of depends on the particular mount, its breed, and sometimes a little bit of RNG aspects to the creation of these mounts and your acquisition of them. But they'll have abilities like charging through opponents, being able to knock those opponents down. They'll have defensive capabilities. They'll have utility capabilities. They might have specific
My crafting in
abilities
this
that
game,
do
I just
create a
thought might be
lance
me
while
just
you're mounted
breeding
on the target.
horses.
These are all ideas that are
Honestly,
within the realm
like I was
of
just thinking that, like
possibility and have been discussed by the design
I'm
team and incorporated as part of our
I'm gonna
layout
find a
for
niche
mounts and skills.
that
But
needs to
as
be
we narrow
filled,
those things
and I'm
down
just
and
gonna
test
do
them,
it from day one,
you'll get a better picture
and that's
of
it. And
what
everything
types
that
of things are being
everybody, all my
utilized.
like characters are
All
gathered.
right. And then our last one here is from Dabs16, and they would like to know about node corruption. To what extent will the corrupted areas affect the node if the players decide not to deal with it? And does it have a limit, or can corruption go as far as to destroy nodes?
Ooh,
Corruption can go as if players don't address corruption, corruption can go as far to increase the frequency of NPC driven events against the node. Those NPC driven events can disable certain node buildings, features, and services. Disabling those node buildings, features, and services make the node susceptible to sieges and the ability for players to destroy nodes. So it can be a very
so like your
detrimental
node
thing
falls
if
apart.
corruption is
It's
not
like you don't
addressed.
maintain your
And
house
that's the intent of
or your
corruption, is
car.
to present a challenge to the players that, if not addressed, it becomes exacerbated and really a problem over time.
All right. And we
Won't
do have
have
a few
all
more
Clippers.
if you have
I don't
time,
know
but I
about
know we
that.
are a
We'll
little bit
see.
over time, so we
It
can
it's going to be
go ahead.
very
We can take one
dedicated. You
more.
will have to
Yeah,
have a
one
main,
more.
like a true
And we'll
main.
just go in the
I
order
could
that the bonus
see
questions are here. All right, so
alts
this
being
one
good
is from
for
Garen, and they want to know about armor
crafting
cosmetics.
and
When
background
it comes
stuff.
to the transition
Especially if
to
you want
Unreal
to do
Engine
a lot
5,
of it
what is your
yourself.
favorite armor set you are excited
You have one
for
guy that
to
goes
see
out and
within the
does
new
all the
engine?
adventuring.
Oh
Not to put
The
too
wow,
much
rest
on
stay
you.
at
that's
home
a
and kind of
that's
Too
a
much.
I mean,
Part of the
they're
set,
visually,
workers or
maybe.
whatever.
Yeah.
well, the interaction with the lighting and lumen is going to have changed the appearance
Hmm.
of materials and
Especially if
assets
you
in
can
game, as we could
craft
have
while
seen with the
offline,
December
like you queue it
presentation
up
of
while
the
your
UE5
character is logged out.
level.
I think that would be a
Um,
big
what
thing.
set? What
But that's
set am
not
I
many
most
games do
excited
that.
about? That's a very good question. I don't think I've ever been asked that. Um, oh man, I don't know. That's a toughie.
We can go
Um,
on to the next one too.
yeah, and I guess I'll just answer real
I
quick.
like them all.
Yeah, I like more cloth-based sets. I really like the movement and simulation of cloth within the game. So any set that has kind of long, adornments of cloth that are present, I think you ask the character team, the sets that I've probably more interacted with in their completion has been the cloth ones. But I don't know, I kind of, but at the same time, like looking at that dwarven armor, that plate armor is just awesome. Like I look at that and I'm like, wow.
That was a good set.
So but I tend to gravitate more towards cloth. We can take one more. That was a
Yeah,
that was
that
a
was
non-developer
I just was
development
going
related
around in the
question.
order. Disobedient would like to know about crafting and alchemy specifically. Can I create my own original potion and keep the recipe secretly for myself?
That'd be cool.
That's a good question. At the moment, there has definitely. Let me say this: there has been some designers who have advocated for that specifically.
Ooh, that's a big
There is a
system then.
level of complexity that adds to the crafting system. Um, I'm not opposed to that.
Oh,
It's possible we may see something like that in the future. I was actually just having a conversation with Corey a little while ago about the idea of like storage for certain alchemical items or food related items and how the freshness might play into the efficacy of that particular item, how furniture could help store those
Oh
things
no,
and
not
augment
freshness.
that. Like, do we have a refrigeration or an ice box for, like, keeping meat
And then you got to get
preserved or
ice.
something? I'm not sure if we're going to get that granular. I'm not sure if we're going to allow unique recipes that can kind of be hidden right now. I think we're definitely going to have rare recipes. We're going to have a very active recipe market. That how players find them and how they discover them is going to be very diverse. It's not just going to be drop oriented. It's going to be discovery, adventurism, treasures, repetition of a particular activity that might yield something, deconstruction that might learn how to, create a recipe. There's a lot of different functionality that's present that's going to be
I love it. I love it.
utilized. Yeah, we'll have to see about that.
All right. And I think to go back to the other question, I had a little think about it, Garen, a little bit more, and I think I still love the Face of Sorrow outfit. It's one of my favorites. I love tanking or healing, so I usually end up being like some kind of cleric or some kind of paladin or something. So wearing heavy armor is my jam. But I think that set is just badass, and I'm
Just
sure it's going to look
badass.
really cool in Unreal Engine 5 as well. All right, with that, we are wrapping up our development update for January. I feel like we've been talking for a lot.
You have.
But hopefully you all
You
enjoyed
have,
all of the goodness,
Margaret.
seeing all the new race models and the updated race models, getting a little sneak peek at the VEC. And, as we progress further in the months, you'll be able to see more of that. We are thinking that we might be able to show off the character creator next month. So it's going to be
I
a
hope.
lot of fun. Definitely want to tune in. And as we move forward, we'll be showing off a lot of prototyping of the combat stuff that the design team and engineering team are working towards. So lots of good stuff. Ooh, cat moved.
I thought that was in
You're
my
busy.
house. I was like, child.
We have a new dev discussion coming up, so it will be in regards to RNG. So if you have thoughts on this, definitely give us your feedback as that is coming up soon. We also have our January cosmetic swap over
Got her.
on
Got the
February
cat.
9th. And this video will be up on YouTube, so you can go check it out on YouTube at Ashes of Creation. We'll also post all kinds of goodies on our social media channels, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all the things. Definitely give us some love over there, and we'll have conversations with you over on our Discord. I know there's a watch party happening right now if you want to hang out with our community managers.
No.
And with that, we will wrap up our January development update.
Thanks for tuning in, guys and gals. Loved having you here as always. Thank you for your support, and we can't wait to show you more cool things.
All right, see ya.
So that was pretty good, guys. That was a little loud there. Calm down. Little thing. Logo. It was actually a pretty good stream. I was pretty happy with it. They had a good amount of info. I like the back, Renkai, the dwarves, even though they're gonna have braid hair butts. The armor looked really sick. I like that. The node roads and how they develop an update look pretty cool. This was a better development update than they've done in recent months. I think it's probably because of the Unreal 5 stuff. They were hesitant to show anything because it was probably all gonna not change necessarily, but the visuals were gonna change drastically, and they were busy. So this was a pretty good one. I liked it a lot. Q&A was a little lackluster at the end. I wish there was a little better questions. I've got to start submitting questions. I really do. I always think of stuff. I'm at work thinking about my everyday, and then I go, oh, Ashes. Oh, this. Oh, I should ask this question. And then I forget. This last holiday, and then I had COVID last 2 weeks. Oh, yeah, 2 weeks ago. Beat my butt. And I have been unmotivated to stream or do anything, really. Excuse me. Honestly, I came home from work today. I ended up, my son got the new Pokemon Arceus game, and I ended up passing out in his bed watching him play for like an hour. I woke up, I was like, oh, I should do this stream. I got some energy now since I took a nap. But yeah, I appreciate you guys, stopping on by, taking a watch with me. I know sometimes it can kind of get a little boring in the middle when they're showing pictures of mounts. But for everybody watching, go check out my website, squeetee.com. It's just a little landing page with links and stuff like that. You can find me on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch. I do put stuff up everywhere. Every time I upload a video, I've been doing a lot of SWTOR gameplays lately, which have actually been getting some decent traction and views. I upload it to YouTube and then it copies over to Facebook. Excuse me. And if you're looking for a guild for Ashes of Creation, or if you want to join me in Star Wars: The Old Republic, they're having their expansion on February 15th. Should be pretty good. I think we're gonna have a lot of people playing. I've been getting a lot of messages on Discord, and Gilded and stuff. People saying, "Hey, when's the expansion? I'm ready to come back. Let's play." Blah blah blah. So I should have a good amount of crew playing. So if you want to, bmfguild.xyz, check us out. You can find an application to our Gilded server. It's like Discord, but I like it better. Has more features. I can organize it a little more in a way that suits how I view things. That's all I got, guys. Nothing else really. I appreciate it again. I hope everyone has a good one. I'll check you guys out in the next one. I hope they do some spot testing soon. I can go and jump in, especially if they let me live stream. I will be doing that in a heartbeat. Yeah, and that's about it. So thanks again, guys. Have a good one, and I'll catch you next time.